Hey chess friends, I hope you are doing well. Today, I am super excited because I have Hikaru Nakamura and Magnus Carlsen competing against me together. Magnus and Hikaru are playing with the black pieces, and I played an incredible game against them. New viewers of my channel might wonder how Magnus and Hikaru can both play against me. Let me clarify that this is a chess variant, where Magnus and Hikaru together can think about a move and its variations. And they will jointly choose a move to play against me. This means their intellects will be combined to fight against me. That's the chess rule. So, let's continue to the game. I played e4, and Magnus was considering c5 while Hikaru was thinking about e5, and they both agreed on e5. I played f4, deploying the king's gambit, and they both decided to give me some sort of check. Instead of playing d6 or d5, which Hikaru considered, they gave me a check because it's blitz chess. I played g3, moving back the queen, and followed up with knight c3, intending to play knight d5 to attack the queen. Here, they could have considered c6 to seize that square, but they opted for d6. Together, Magnus and Hikaru have an ELO rating of around 5,000, while I have an ELO of just 4,000. I am very powerful against them. They might consider g4, and my moves could include f5, knight d5, and from the black side, they could play knight c6 or c6 to protect that square. Let's see what happens. They played c6, and a couple of moves later, we have queen e2 followed by castling. So far, so good. Therefore, I just move my knight back to e1 to reinforce it on e3 and push forward my kingside pawns to attack the black pieces. As is common in my chess videos, I castle kingside and use my full forces to attack black's kingside. That's what I initiated in the game. Knight f2 comes to push these pawns forward as well. Let's see what happens next because they are human chess grandmasters, and I am also a super grandmaster at the AI level. They are trying to attack in the center, and I am trying to attack on the queen side. That's what I played in the game. At this point, many chess grandmasters might consider knight h5, which was also considered by Magnus Carlsen, but the problem is clear. If you dare to play knight h5, I will sacrifice my knight on the e5 square. The best move for black is to capture the knight, but if you consider g6 to protect the knight, it will create a very vulnerable and lost position for you. After the knight exchanges, knight g4 will arrive on the board. And after bishop c5 seizes that diagonal, I will consider queen f3 to put my queen on c3, giving some sort of check, and after the king moves, knight h6 will arrive, putting you in a dire situation. Therefore, after f6 happens and some pawn exchanges occur, rook takes f6 followed by bishop f4 will arrive to put pressure on the queen. So, as the bishop moves back, I can consider a very strong move. It's not e5, it's the move that can break your teeth with a hammer by queen c3, attacking the rook, and e5 can also come to put pressure on and fork the two pieces with my single pawn. It's like a Mikhail Tal attack. Even if you cannot capture my bishop, because your rook is hanging, the position will be just lost for you. So, let me share an inspirational quote in sudden with you. Ships don't sink because of the water around them, ships sink because of the water that gets in them. Don't let what's happening around you get inside you and weigh you down. So, going back to the position, we discovered that knight h5 is not possible. It would create a very bad situation for you. Therefore, Hikaru decided to move their knight back to g8. I played knight h4 with the idea of playing queen h5 followed by g6, and anytime I can move my knight to g6 because your king is in a precarious position, your king is hiding outside in the garbage. Therefore, the bishop comes to a6 to put pressure along with the queen and rook. I played c4, and after a couple of moves, we have d5 to conquer the pawn. There was some piece activity, followed by queen h5, where g6 can arrive to destroy you like an atom bomb. Magnus and Hikaru together considered c5, and at this point, some of you might think of g6, but this is a completely rubbish move because black can initially go with knight f6 to defend the position very well, and I won't gain any advantage here. Therefore, the two grandmasters are doing a very good job here. They both think like a bullet train. If this chess variant ever happens in a championship, like Magnus and Hikaru together fighting against Yen and Ding Liren together, it would be amazing and historic. Anyway, I just played rook d1, and after a couple of moves, you can see they brought their rook to protect the knight on c6, I captured the pawn, and a few moves later, we have f6 to attack the pawn, also putting pressure on the bishop. The point is, you cannot capture the pawn right here because after that, g6 will arrive to put pressure on these vulnerable pawns, checkmate is coming, so you have to capture the pawn, and after knight takes f6 check bishop takes f6 happens, rook g3 check will arrive. The knight has to block it, and knight h3 can come to attack the knight, the king's position gets horribly seized, and anytime the knight can come to f5 to destroy you, the position will be over for both Magnus and Hikaru. So, going back to the position, they didn't capture the pawn because they thought together, I am alone, but I am one, I am single and more powerful than they are together. They played knight f6, and after I captured the knight, they intended to protect their kingside by sacrificing the knight. At the end of the day, you can see that we had more piece exchanges, leading to an attack on the h7 pawn. Even h6 is not possible because I can capture the pawn with a check. After knight d5 check happens, the king moves back, and I can play another check, winning the loop as I planned. So, going back to the position, h6 is not possible, even knight f6 is not possible because the f7 pawn is under attack, therefore, they played knight h6. A couple of moves later, we had bishop exchanges, and you can see that we were just making some piece maneuvers. I developed my rooks and exchanged pawns, making moves very quickly due to the low time control. My queen then went to d5, intending to sacrifice it because I could checkmate on the back rank, like a 200 rated checkmate. A few moves later, there were more pawn exchanges, and in the end, I had two knights against their one knight, and we even exchanged queens. After a few more moves, we were just maneuvering pieces, and I ended up with 3 passed pawns, making this position completely winning for me. They both resigned the game very shamefully and even blocked me on chess.com. Anyway, I defeated them, and I hope you enjoyed the game. If so, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Wishing you all the best, bye bye, take care, see you soon.